Hello, welcome back to a new video. So today I'm going to be ranking every single Lost character. Now, there's a lot, and this is the first time I've talked about Lost on this channel. I was wondering what I could do, but I thought the best thing to do, one of the things that I want to do, is basically just rank the characters to start with. I think that's a nice way to kind of get into it. There's a lot of disclaimers to say, like, this is my opinion, and I've been watching Lost for 2 months, 2.5 months, so there might be things from, say, Season 1, Season 2 that I might forget, and I might judge a character differently based off each thing they do, and I know that each of them are on different durations and came in different moments on the show, but I'm just gonna put them in a place and kind of give a reason on why I think they should be there. If we do ever get to a point where there's a character where I really don't remember them or they really didn't have an impact like at all, which I mean, I guess every single character has some kind of impact, but if I really can't remember anything, I'll just not rank them. So we will be using D tier as like the worst and S tier as like my favorites. So I'm gonna make my way across the list. It's gonna be pretty quick fire because there are a lot to get through, and like it must be like 50. So we're gonna start. This guy, I do not fully remember him. He was Desmond's little partner in the bunker, and I'm pretty sure he was part of like the US military or something with Saeed. He can be C tier because he ditched Desmond, and that was not okay. But I do give him respect that he helped Saeed. I think he helped Saeed at least in some way. Paolo, I don't remember much. He didn't really do much. He was just with his girlfriend or wife. I forgot her name. I'm sure she'll show up. But I'm just going to put Paolo in D tier because he didn't do anything for me. There's nothing much to say about him. Maggie Grace, or Shannon. So if you know this channel or Fear the Walking Dead, you'll know that Maggie Grace plays Althea in Fear the Walking Dead. And I think that Shannon is a much better character than Althea. Shannon, I feel like Shannon has a good heart, but she's very much a bitch. But I still don't want to let, like, that get in my way. I think that Shannon was a B character. I think that her relationship with Saeed was quite nice. And Saeed definitely felt emotional about Boone when he died, even though she was quite manipulative and stuff. I'll give her a B tier, maybe low A when we move on. Walt can be an A tier. I like Walt. Walt is... Walt's a good character. Again, he didn't really have too much time, and he didn't really do too much because he was just a kid, you know. He was there, and then he got kidnapped, and then like the next time we saw him, Michael and Walt were gone, and then we saw him once more in like season 4, I believe, and Locke saw him. That was really nice. I liked his relationship with Locke, and I think that Walt was fine. I like Walt a lot. Definitely like one of the only kids, and well, one of my favorites. Charlie is S tier. So S tier to me are like my favorites. Like A tier is like very good, B tier is fine, C tier is not very good, and D tier is like awful. C tier are like my favorites, like my absolute favorites, the people that make the show. Charlie is one of them. His relationship with Claire and everything that he does for Claire, helping with the baby, is amazing. His kind of development with doing weed, and the fact that he quits, and like John Locke says like, oh, I'll tell you 3 times, and if you ask me the 3rd time, I'll give it to you. And then he ends up burning the weed, and then he has his trials to overcome. And Charlie did do some pretty bad things, like when him and Sawyer had that little plan to kidnap Sun. That was not great at all, but Charlie is still one of the favourites, and the way that he left the show, his big sacrifice, it was great to see. This guy, I've obviously seen his face before, but I don't remember him, so he can go unranked. John Locke. John Locke is my favourite character out of the whole show. I love John Locke. I don't know what I would do without John Locke. He is just so interesting, and he's the one that kind of originally understands the island very quickly, and there's a good reason. He was in a wheelchair and he was able to walk as soon as he got on the island, and him and Rose both had that similar understanding about the island being healing and everything. But John Locke knew what was going all along, and even Jack in the final episodes was like, oh yeah, Locke, he was right. So John Locke was very inspirational. His story was really upsetting with his father scamming him being like an orphan, and then Helen, you know, he kind of messed everything up with Helen just for the sake of trying to get back at his dad, Anthony Cooper. John Locke is such a compelling character, and he's got such an emotional story, and he's amazing. Like, John Locke was that guy in season 1 that was so badass with his knives and hunting, and he was a bit of everyone's saviour in the way that he was able to get them food. John Locke, 10 out of 10 S tier. Kit Scard, yeah, this guy is a D tier. He was an asshole, like a serious asshole to Kate. And I understand like authority and stuff, but the way that he treated Kate was really bad. And I get Kate was a little bit slimy, kept on slipping out of his fingers and everything, but he was an asshole, and no one liked him. So good riddance, D tier. Desmond, S tier, and I'm gonna put him ahead of Charlie. I love Desmond, love Desmond. He's Scottish, he's British, which is always great. But Desmond is a really special character in the way that he was able to, in Season 6, go and reunite everyone, was the first to realise how he was able to constantly save Charlie. Desmond was special, and his story with Penelope, I absolutely loved it. Desmond, again, another 10 out of 10, dare I say it. Naomi, Manchester again. I didn't care for Naomi. I put her in top of C tier. It shouldn't do anything for me. Like, Naomi was there. John Locke killed her. Good riddance. Goodbye. Kate's mum is also a D tier, and probably a bigger asshole than Kate's guy. To see all the people that treat Kate, like, horribly. I understand why Kate's mum would be mad. And maybe because I have never been in any kind of situation like this, I can't really say much. I understand that. However, Kate's mum is horrible. Kate just wanted to kill her stepdad because he was abusive. And even though Kate's mum liked her, like, the only thing that Kate's mum did right was let her go once when Kate saw her, and did give a fair warning that if she came back, she'd call the police. So, fair enough. Kate was warned. But I feel like if she was really loving of Kate and really understood what he did to Kate, what he did to her mum, it would be more like that. I think maybe I'm being too harsh. No, she's D tier. I don't know what I put her in D tier, but I still think she's an asshole too, you know. But it's a situation that I've never been in, and hopefully no one really has to be in. So I can't fully speak about it, but from my perspective, which is very unbiased and very not fully understanding, I can't sit here and say that Kate's mum is anywhere above a D tier. Jin and Son, I think I get their names wrong all the time, my friend tells me. So I am really sorry to Jin and Son if I get the names wrong. Jin, to me, is top of A tier. I love him, I just don't love him as one of my favourites. I think he's a nice character. I think his story from being dead nice and sweet to Son, to eventually the island and his Son's dad, Mr. Pack and everything. And then eventually he grows back to being nice, and his ultimate sacrifice, again, to die with Son, was really, really sweet and a great way for them both to end. And I love him, but personally, there's nothing about him that I would believe to put in S tier in my eyes. But I love Jin. He's a great character. Penelope, again, A tier. I love her, you know, a bit like opposite with Desmond. Penelope really, really, really cared for Desmond. Really put out all the stops to go and try and get him, to date him, to find him. And she's the reason that most of our main characters are alive, because when the helicopter crashed, her boat was there and was able to help them land safely. Penelope, I love her so much. Penny, as Desmond says. Boone is another B tier. Shannon and Boone weren't on the show for a huge amount of time, especially like season 1, like in the first half when not too much happened. I like Shannon more than Boone. I think Boone was fine. He really did care for Shannon, and Shannon was messing him about, which was obviously not great at all. But Boone was good. I liked Boone and Locke's dynamic when they were trying to do the hatch. I liked how Boone was just kind of there. Like, I don't really know what to say much about Boone. It's why he's kind of B tier. Not too much I can say about him. Obviously, when he went up in the plane to try and get help, that was quite brave of him, and he had a good end, I would say, in terms of he died a bit of a hero. Even though nothing happened, his acts were heroic. So Boone, actually, I am going to put him above Shannon, because Shannon is a bitch. So, oh my god, I forgot her name. Oh no, oh my god, right, listen, I will remember it, and I will come back. Juliet, sorry, I am so sorry. Juliet is S tier. I love Juliet. When I first saw her, I wasn't too on board with her, but she's actually one of the ones that wanted Ben out, I think. You know, she said that, and I don't think that was manipulation. I think she generally meant that. And Juliet really grew on me, and I think she was perfect for Sawyer. Personally, I was more Sawyer and Kate, But if not Sawyer and Kate, I was really happy with Sawyer and Juliet. I personally didn't mind that. I wouldn't have even minded Juliet and Jack, to be fair. But Juliet was nice. She obviously did kind of start the whole thing, like that you wanted to get Ben out. And Juliet did gain everyone's trust and eventually prove herself, to not be a full other. And she wasn't a full other because she came later on, whereas some of the others had been there since the Dharma Initiative, and Juliet had only been there for a matter of years. So I'm going to put her in bottom of S tier. I actually really, really, really like Juliet. Charles Whitmore, I am going to put at bottom of A tier. He obviously wasn't a nice guy. However, his pure insanity and pure desire to find the island and the cat and mouse with Ben and Charles, I loved seeing that. And I'll be honest with you, it was good. It was just good. I know I put, Kate's guard in D tier because he was an asshole. So was Whitmore. But at the end of the day, I liked him. He was the villain. And season 6, Whitmore getting on the island was quite ruthless, quite dangerous, quite scary. So yeah, we'll put him there. Echo is going to be top of C tier. I could put him lower, but I did not like Echo. I loved the representation for Africa and everything. And of course, all characters, different parts of the world, like America, UK, Africa, Australia, all these places. It was great to see. I just did not like Echo. I found him to be extremely boring, and I'm glad he died very soon, or died within a season of him coming on the show. I did not like Echo at all. And then eventually when he started speaking in cryptic ways, he wouldn't tell you anything. He would just kind of say something, and that was that. Not fully say it, but be like, you'll find out where we're going soon, instead of just saying, oh, we're going here. I just did not like Echo. I'm sorry. This guy is a D tier. He can be the lowest of the D tier. He was an asshole. Obviously back in season 5, going back to, was it 1974, 1975? Complete asshole. I don't know what to say about him. Didn't like him. Moving on. This lass, again, D tier. What an asshole. She wasn't as bad as him. I'll put her there. Forgot her name. I know she said her name just right before the black smoke killed her. Yeah, I didn't care for her. This guy from the temple, I didn't care for him, but he didn't seem as bad as some of these. I'll put him here. This guy, I've completely forgotten him, not even going to rank him. This guy, it's a kid. I don't know, not ranking him. Bernard is going to go there. Bernard was just sweet. I'm going to get Rose too. Where's Rose? Rose and Bernard were both sweet. They could be intertwined, it doesn't matter which is which. But the both of them just wanted peace. They just wanted to stay on the island. They loved each other. The story was great how they met. It was sad, the story. But you can assume that they probably did find happiness at the end, just being together on the island. So, not too much to say about them, but they did care for each other. They wanted to help each other. And that's that. Charlie's brother, I forgot his name. I'm going to put him in B tier. I didn't love him, and he's the reason that Charlie got into the drugs and everything. However, for his sake, he did change his own life around, and Charlie was able to change his life around before he died too. So, not too much to say, but I would put him bottom of B tier. Oh my days. Do you know what? I think we found the worst person. Anthony Cooper, John Locke's dad, absolutely horrific. Not a terrible character written, but a horrible person. And I don't want to say anything about him. He messed up Sawyer's life, he messed up Locke's life, and they are two of the best characters. So I'm not even going to give him the light of day. And while mentioning Sawyer, I will go and find Sawyer. Where's Sawyer? Sawyer. I just keep saying Sawyer till I find him. Sawyer. There he is. Right, sorry. As I just said, Sawyer is also one of my favourites. I would put him here. I loved Sawyer. At the very beginning of the show, I wasn't a huge fan of Sawyer. However, I will say that I do like Sawyer. And as he went on, I did like his development. He really cared about Kate. He really cared about Juliet. And he became less selfless while still keeping a little bit of the attitude that he always had. And he was obviously part of the main crew of things. Kate is also an S tier in my eyes. Kate was nice. She definitely proved that she wasn't bad, even though she did kill her stepdad. Kate was a good tracker. Definitely a good tracker, just like John Locke. She seemed to be like a pretty decent person. Like, I didn't love Kate, don't get me wrong. I could probably put Kate in A tier, top of A tier. Should I put Kate top of A tier? No, I will put her in S tier. I thought that it was nice that she came back to the island for the simple reason of trying to reunite Claire and Aaron. That was a huge thing, and obviously it would have been hard for Kate to go back to the island, but her raising Aaron and wanting to reunite Claire and Aaron, I thought that was really nice of Kate, and I think that Kate was overall a nice character. This guy, no, don't remember him. Ethan. Okay, Ethan can be top of B tier, because I think that, no, he can be above Charlie's brother. So Ethan was quite intimidating, and even though he wasn't on the show for a huge amount of time, the moments that we had with him were very, very, like, ruthless, and, like, they really got us, it really painted a picture in our minds of what the others were going to be like, just having Ethan there. That's what I'll say about Ethan. I liked him. I didn't like him, but I kind of liked the feeling that he brought to the others and the season 1 when he was there. Jack is going to be bottom S tier. I would have put Jack in A tier, if not for the finale where he saved the island and also kind of in turn saved like Claire, Sawyer, Kate when they were all on the plane. Jack was never one of my favourites. I never agreed with what he said, but the pure thing of what I just mentioned, and him also realising that John Locke was right, even though they had a rocky relationship, I do respect that, I do love that, and I'm going to give him the S tier for a very strong end. His ex-wife, I believe that's Jack's, sorry, I believe this is Jack's ex-wife. I'm going to put her in bottom of C tier. I think she was a bit of an asshole. Like, the way that she just wouldn't really tell Jack who she was dating. She doesn't have to do that at all. And I'm not saying that you're an asshole if you don't tell who you're dating. But Jack really, really was, like, torn up by who she was dating. And maybe just simply explaining it in some way would have made him feel better. And I feel like she just kind of broke up with Jack and he didn't realise. Like, even though it felt like it was coming, it just kind of happened. So, not too happy about that. We're going to give her C tier. This guy, I think he was one of the better ones from 1975. I'm going to give him C tier here. I think he was the nice one. Obviously, we've talked about him. He wasn't. But he was the more forgiving one. I forgot his name, but I'm going to put him there. Jacob. Jacob's so bizarre. I don't know where to put Jacob. I'm going to put Jacob above Whitmore. I think Jacob was obviously did care for the island, but he was so cryptic and so a bit like Echo, nowhere near as bad as Echo, but like, Echo was nowhere near as bad as Jacob, but Jacob was very cryptic. You didn't fully understand him, and I can't even fully make up my mind whether he was like a good person. Like, yes, he was protecting the island, but why did Ben never see Jacob? Why did it take so long? You know, like, I just think Jacob was a bit weird, but I'm going to give him A tier because I did kind of like Jacob. This guy, I forgot his name, but it's Alex's boyfriend. He was fine. He literally didn't do anything though. So I'll give him C tier. I'll put him there. This woman, the flight attendant, again, I don't know what to say about her. I'll put her there. Ben is going to go up there. I actually love Ben. I really didn't like Ben for a long time. But as time went on, I realised I really do like Ben. I actually do like Ben. And he became one of my favourites. He's kind of like back and forth between doing something good, doing something bad, and having my word and having trust and all this kind of stuff, and always leaving something out of the picture. You know, he was very, very crazy. But you could tell that Ben was actually a nice person. And it was really unfortunate the way that he kind of grew up with the Dharma Initiative and his dad and the others, and that's what caused him to be the way that he was. But I love Ben. This guy, Dharma Initiative man, I'll put him there. I'll put him there, here. I didn't really care much for him. I thought it was quite cool to see him on the videos, and especially seeing him in person, obviously Miles' dad. I don't know too much to say, like, he seemed like a bit of an asshole, but he also seemed nice. I'm just going to put him there, and yeah. There we are, we'll put him there. Hurley's mum, I believe. Again, I don't know too much to say about her. I'll put her up here. I think she was nice. I think she cared about Hugo, so we'll put her there. Kim Dickens or Cassidy, sorry. Cassidy is going to go bottom of S tier. She is my favourite flashback character. I absolutely adore her. There may be a bit of bias that it's Kim Dickens, but I loved Cassidy and Sawyer's story. You know, I've got Sawyer up in S tier. I thought that Cassidy was great. I thought that wanting to learn things with Sawyer, and it was a shame what happened to her. You know, you did feel bad that Sawyer still kind of got out with her, you know, like left her. But she's the mother of Sawyer's kids. I like Cassidy. She is my favourite flashback character. Charlotte, I don't care for her. We'll put her bottom of B tier. Faraday, people like Faraday. I think he's fine. I'll put him bottom of A tier. Like, he was a bit like Desmond, very instrumental in the story of time travel and understanding it all. So I do like him, absolutely. I just don't... I put him above Jacob, and I'll move Walt back there. Yeah, Faraday was fine. Like I say, he was instrumental in the story. Hugo's dad. Now, I still can't make my mind up on, like... He definitely cares for Hugo and Hurley, but I can't fully be sure... about, like... When he came back, did he come back for the money at all? Like, I don't remember if that was fully debunked or if it was just that, well, he cared for Hugo, it didn't matter. I'm just going to put him behind Hugo's mum. This guy from the temple, didn't like him. I put him with his little friend, except he's probably worse. Faraday's mum, she was a bit weird. You know, Mrs. Faraday, Mrs. Whitmore, whatever you want to say. She can go bottom. No. She can go there. She was fine. She was again another cryptic person. You know, I guess there's a bit of a theme that I don't like people that act very cryptic because it's just annoying. But she's fine. You know, she's the mother of Faraday, and Faraday, like I said, was important. Oh, I forgot his name, but Juliet's little kind of thing. I forgot his name. He wasn't in it much, and we'll put him there. Helen is... Probably put Helen in bottom of A tier. I really liked Helen, and I liked how she kept giving John Locke chances. But it was just unfortunate, and it was just something that had to happen, that she couldn't stay. She couldn't, like, be with Locke still, because Locke just kept on going after his dad, and it was unfortunate, but I love Helen. This woman, I don't care for her again. We saw her a little bit, one of Jacob's followers and all. I'll put her at near top of C tier. This guy, again, like, I'll put him in bottom of C tier. I didn't like that he had an affair with Son, but he seemed nice, but I just don't care about him. You got another D tier. Ben's dad. Ben's dad is going to go in D tier, and I'll put him there. He was a... No. I'll put him there. He was a terrible dad that did have a good heart, but just let the alcohol take him. And it's upsetting, but that is what happened, and I can't give him any more than a D tier. Jack's son, again, bottom of C tier. Don't really know, don't really care. He was fine. Again, he was a bit weird when we first met him, but he seemed to open up when Jack was going to his concerts and caring a bit more about that. So I respect that. Like, it is what it is. Hurley, I didn't care much for Hurley, but I do care enough to put him... there. I think he was the comic relief, and personally, I ain't a fan of any kind of comic relief. But he was fine. I liked his end. He definitely had good moments. I loved his relationship with Libby. And he definitely kind of grew, and I guess maybe, at least by the very, very end of the show, came a little bit more mature. So I do respect that. Top of A tier, or high end of A tier. This guy, forgot him, asshole, literally killed, I believe he was the one that killed Alex, yes, and even, was it Russo and Alex's boyfriend there? I'll put him there, horrible again. This guy, literally forgot who he is. I remember he, like, showed John Locke away once. He can go bottom of C tier. Some of these characters... Just because they're an asshole does not mean they're in D tier. Because Charles Whitmore, I got an A tier. But I feel like Charles Whitmore was just quite intimidating, quite scary. He was the father of Penn. You know, he played a big part in the story. You look at him, this guy, he didn't really do much for the story. And he was an asshole. And I guess he was quite intimidating because he did kill Alex. But I feel like there's a fine line that Charles Whitmore... didn't necessarily kill anyone. So it's easier to like him even though he was still bad. Again, like I told you, this is my opinion and it's not consistent. It just is what it is. Claire is going to go in... Claire will go there. I like Claire, but I feel like her whole personality was Aaron. And obviously it's great, you know, she was a strong mother and stuff. I just feel like Son, for example, who we'll put in now, I feel like she had better development. I think Son's top of A tier. I think Son had a baby, and that was a bit of what went on with her, but she also eventually became stronger. A little bit like the Carol of Lost, in a way. You know, Carol from The Walking Dead, they have similarities, but I like Son. I like how she stood her own and had a kid. I just think with Claire, she didn't do too much. The one major thing is that she got kidnapped, and of course, the baby and having a baby on the island and stuff was quite interesting and understanding with all that, but I'm still not fully, like, in with it, you know what I mean? Like, Claire's fine. I like Claire a lot, but I just don't feel like she warrants any more than an A tier. This guy is the cloud of smoke, yes. He is also D tier because he was also horrible. Jacob's brother, D tier. Michael is going the very bottom of D tier, and I'll tell you why. I do not like Michael. I never liked Michael, and just you wait, because I thought Michael was just annoying. Like, one of the first things he did that I hated was him not allowing his son, Walt, to be able to hang out with John Locke. I love their relationship and their dynamic, and he just got mad every time that happened. And then we go on to season 2. I already didn't like him. You know, loads of other little reasons, but I've just given you one. We go over to bloody season 2, and he kills Libby and Ana Lucia. How do you think I felt when I already didn't like him? That was my final straw. And I don't even know if anything he did on season 4 is remotely, like, forgivable. Or redeeming. Like, I don't like Michael, and he was the person that when I watched the show, I got so mad and frustrated at, that I cannot give him any more than a D tier, because even though the rest of D tier could give me frustrations and would be terrible, horrible characters, Michael seriously put me on the edge all the time. This guy from Dharma Initiative, again, didn't like him. We'll put him there. Miles can be bottom of B tier. Again, I'm not a huge fan. Miles is quite cool with being able to talk to the dead. But besides that, did he do much that I loved? Did he do much I enjoyed? No, not really. And I should mention, in season 4, when Charlotte, Naomi, I think Naomi came season 3, but like Charlotte, Naomi, Lupita, or not Lupita, or, you know what I mean. Miles, Lupita, Charlotte, all of them lot that came in season 3 and 4, I didn't like them. I really didn't like them. And I eventually got to like Miles, and I did like him. But I just didn't like them coming to the island, these group of people. It was just really annoying to me. So Miles can go bottom of D. Bottom of D tier is actually really harsh. He can go... He can go here. Miles can go rather the upper end of D tier. I think that's a lot fairer. So this guy, I've forgotten this guy. Again, I've seen his face. I'm pretty sure he's from 1974 season 5. But don't know him enough, so I'm not going to rank him. Right, so Jin's dad. Jin's dad's a weird one. We barely saw him, but he seemed like a really nice guy. So I am going to put him bottom of B tier. This guy, Nadia, I will give above Jin's dad. Nadia was just really nice. You felt really bad for her, but I loved the story. I loved the way she was with Saeed, and I just wish they got to be together. Saeed himself, so I don't know. I'm going to give him A tier, but I'm probably going to put him behind Hurley, and I might even put him behind Carol. I like Saeed. I just prefer Claire and Hurley. You know, I do like that Saeed tried to be good, and he was good. You know, I said tried to be good. He was good. You know, I'm not trying to be like, oh, Saeed couldn't do it. But he definitely was good, but then he didn't end up killing people when he went back to the world. Just a little bit of all this, and I just wish that he didn't have to get back into his killing ways. I do wish that it worked out for him and Nadia, and I am glad that in the original story, he was able to get out of being like an Iraqi soldier. But yeah, Saeed's great. Just not one of my personal favourites, but I do respect him. Oh, low battery isn't that great. Mr. Pack. Now, Mr. Pack is a bit like Whitmore. Terrible person, but quite intimidating, and he definitely caused a lot of problems for Jin and Son's relationship. So obviously I don't like him. I think Whitmore was really like up there, but I'll put him bottom of B tier. You know, I feel like I could put him in D tier, say he's a horrible person, but I think that he was quite intimidating, and I liked that. Richard or Ricardo, I liked Richard, though. I can't, like, when I look back, I can't remember seeing a lot about him, but I did like what the Richard that we saw. So I am gonna put Richard. I'll put Richard above Faraday's mum. Okay, the French woman. I forgot her name. Oh, I forgot her name. Rousseau. This is the thing. When I don't cut anything, cut edit, I start to really panic if I forget someone's name. But I've been alright so far, I think. But Rousseau, I love Rousseau. I absolutely love Rousseau. I'm going to put her in A tier, and I'm going to put her above Bernard and Rose. I feel bad for her. I mean, she was stuck on the island for so long, and especially when we go back in time and see how things happened. You do feel awful for her. And she had a terrible death as well. But I did like her, you know. I'm going to give her mid-A tier, and I just like Rousseau, okay? Let me be. Frank is going to go in B, and I will put Frank above Charlie's brother behind Ethan. Frank was fine. I mean, he was a pilot, which was very important, especially at the very end of Season 6. And it was nice to see him. I just, like I said, he was part of the group that came in Season 4, which I didn't like that, so he's going there. This guy, I forgot his name, one of Ben's right-hand men. I liked him. He was not good, again, like, not a nice person, but I think he was alright. He was alright. So I will put him, I'll put him mid C tier. This professor guy, I don't know where to put him. I'm gonna put him here. He blew up, didn't he? If I remember correctly. He was a little bit annoying. And we barely saw him, but mid C tier. This is... Who is this? That's not Naomi, is it? I already did Naomi. Okay, well, let me put her last. I'll come back to her. Libby. I'm going to put Libby in A tier. I love Libby. I really wish she didn't have to die. I loved her so much. She was just so kind and really brought out the best of Hurley, really wanted the best for him. And it's a shame for the both of them that they didn't both end up living together. It would have been great if they were both together on the island, but sadly that didn't happen. And it is a shame, but from the moments that we had with them both, I'm not complaining. Alex is going to go... I will put Alex... I'm going to put Alex top... I'm going to put Alex here. I kept on changing my opinion through that, and I'll tell you why. I was going to put her just, like, whatever. But then I kind of realised, like, Alex was really important with, like, the others. And, like, trying to help Jack and Kate and everyone. She was really against them. And she was controlled by them. And you feel bad for her. And again, her death was horrible. But at the end of the day, she was nice. She did have a good heart. She had a sad story. And I like her a lot. The daughter of Russo as well, who I liked. In fact, I will put her in front of her mother. I think that's only right. Anna, oh wow. Anasia Lucia. Yeah, just, I've got a sore throat. Let me be. That's my excuse. When we first met her, I didn't like her. But she grew on me a lot, especially with the backstory. She grew on me. I am going to put her here. I really wish she didn't die. Like I said, she absolutely grew on me. She became someone that I loved in the short amount of time we had her. I thought that she was, like, really edgy. She was just, like, she would do anything, and I loved that. And she did kill Shannon, so she probably did deserve to die, but I don't mind. I'm not bothered. Christian is another A tier. I'll put him at the bottom of A tier. I don't really know to put him. Christian was obviously a very important character. Jack was taking him home, and he became the island. I'm pretty sure the Black Smoke guy took his body when he first met Claire in like season 4 or 5. But the story of him being Claire and Jack's parent is quite sad. Actually, it makes you feel bad for Claire. But his will going out to Claire, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That was a nice touch. And the fact that he did try and meet Claire. Christian was not a terrible person. He just misstepped his ways with drinking. And I like him. I like him a lot. He's another one of my favourite flashback characters. Vincent, I'm going to put S tier because Vincent just survived it all. And Vincent is amazing. This guy, I forgot his name, one of Echo's friends, bottom of B tier, simply, do you know, I'll put Echo at the bottom of B tier. It's just boring. Again, like I said with the story, I wasn't too bothered about their stories. I really wasn't. It was sad. It was a shame. It absolutely was. I'm not saying that I didn't care about it. Like, it was upsetting. I wasn't bothered with that story. There are loads of flashbacks that I didn't care about. But like all of Echo's flashbacks, the 2 or 3 of them we had, I just wasn't bothered. This girl, I think she's our last one. She is Paolo's little princess, should we call her? Again, I didn't really care. We didn't see much of them. They were cool. For what we had with them, they were cool. They kind of just came, had the diamonds, then got buried alive. Like, it was crazy. Okay, it was crazy. But I ain't going to put them anywhere above D tier because I don't really care much about them. And this girl, I really forgot her. I thought that was Naomi. If I haven't already done Naomi, I'm pretty sure I did. Well, I can't see her. Oh, yeah, there she is. I actually forgot who this woman is, unless that is Naomi and the same picture's used twice. I don't know. But that's basically it. These guys, I don't fully remember. I definitely remember seeing the faces. I want to say he maybe has some relation with Juliet. Like, I don't fully remember. But that's basically my tier list. I do want to say that there's a lot of D tiers. That's not because they were written bad characters. They're just because they're characters that I really didn't like or found really boring. C tier is pretty much characters that I didn't like or we barely saw much of. Or I didn't really like that much. B tier is like characters that I didn't hate but didn't fully love, didn't fully feel like they did much, but I like parts of them. You know, I think the bottom of B tier to the... I'm going to put these in C tier. I think that B tier is for characters that I kind of liked. Not fully, but I kind of liked them. I would say the bottom 2 tiers are bad, the other 3 tiers are good. But this is my opinion, you know, like... I don't mind these people at the bottom. I just found them a bit boring. And when you compare Locke, Sun, Boone, Echo, and all of these lot, they're all in different leagues for me. But I don't hate them. I don't hate anything about them. Maybe Michael, he really, really, really drove me crazy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I want to do more videos on Lost. I want to go more in detail. I want to understand it better. Because this is definitely, like, my opinions would definitely change. It's a little bit inconsistent. And I would love to really rewatch Lost, watch a lot more, understand a lot more, and redo this in, like, a year's time, you know, if I'm still doing YouTube, and see if my opinions have changed. You know, because I feel like Saeed... have I forgotten things? Am I misunderstanding things where actually Saeed's an S tier, but I need to realise that? You know, am I being way too nice to Juliet? Is she actually a B tier? This is just my quick opinion, and even if I had time to sit and think about it, there probably may be some things that I would change, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.